best thing to do is to just sit there and just watch your breath when you're really tired or emotionally drained. And there are some days that we feel that way, whether we're at the office or at home, I'm sure. How many of you are not working? Please raise your hand. Okay. Because most of my examples are going to probably be work-related. Are yours students? Okay. Okay, I'll try to tune it to the people who are not working as well. After all, we are always surrounded by people, whether we are at work or at home or in school. Are you in college or university? Undergraduate students at NUS, NTU. You as well? Okay. Good. Okay, bring the best out of people. Let's first of all think about in what situations do we bring, or do people bring the best out of us, or do we bring the best out of ourselves? So basically, when are you at your best? Okay, I'm going to pose some questions to you, so please answer them as honestly as possible. Are you at your best when you're happy or sad? Oh, you sound so happy. Okay, I'm going to try it one more time. Are you at your best when you're happy or sad? Happy. Oh, good. Much better. Are you at your best when you're confident or fearful? Confident. Oh, good. Okay, so all unanimous, right? Nobody is disputing that. Are you at your best when you're being judged or accepted as you are? Good. I think I'm doing better than the school teacher. Are you at your best when you're complimented or criticized? Are you at your best when you're motivated or demotivated? And are you at your best when you're crying or when you're laughing? Okay. And last question. Are you at your best when you feel safe or feeling insecure? Okay. So you all know the secrets to when you're at your best. And therefore, when we deal with other people, do we give them a sense of happiness or sadness? Do we give them a sense of confidence or fear? Do we make them cry or do we make them laugh? Do we compliment them or do we criticize them? Do we judge them or do we accept them as they are? Strengths and weaknesses, everything. So you answered all those questions unanimously. You're at your best when you're not criticized, when you're happy, when you're confident, when you feel safe, secure, and you're accepted as you are. So then why do we spend our time and effort criticizing others, making them feel inadequate or insecure, unsafe, demotivating them by looking only at their faults or more at their faults than anything else? And we constantly judge them. How could we then possibly bring the best out of others? Similarly with ourselves, do we accept ourselves as we are? Or are we always critiquing ourselves? I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. I'm so ashamed of myself in this and that. That's very different from knowing that we aim to be a better person, that we aim to improve. But that's reflecting on the areas that we can positively improve ourselves, rather than criticizing, putting ourselves down, and putting others down. Sometimes someone gives you a compliment, and you say, "Aya, no lah." That's not humility. That's not even able to accept that people recognize that this is one of your good points, and that you should be happy that you have one of these good points, and that you enhance it even further. And not only we do it to ourselves, sometimes we do it to our relatives or children. They say, oh, your kid's so good, huh? No, they're very naughty, Why do we put them down? When they were good, let them be complimented. Let them enjoy the limelight. That they are being recognized for being good. Why would they bother to be good if every time somebody else compliments them, you put them down again? Okay? But that's not to say is to build up the ego of the child, but to have a balance. That when they deserve to be complimented, let them be complimented. And when they deserve to be advised on how to improve certain areas, then yes, that is appropriately done as well. So at work, or at home even, if you spend all your time cooking and, or you study really hard and you pass your exams, or the person cooks at home, and someone compliments you, wow, that was really good, what you've cooked. Do you feel like you want to cook again next time? Yes, of course. But if people come to the table and say, yeah, this one too salty lah, this one, should have put more, not enough gravy and so on. How do you feel that? Wow, all the effort I put in, and all I get is, this is not good enough, that's not good enough. Do you think you feel like cooking tomorrow? No, you say, go out and eat. Let's just go to food court. Can't be bothered to cook anymore. So when somebody does something, even if it's not the best that you've ever tasted, or it's not the best marks, or whatever that may be, is to show the appreciation. Mom, that was really good. It was the best she could do at that point in time. Even cooks have their bad days, Say, that was good, Mom. Say, yeah, not so good. Mom, it's good enough. That was really tasty. What's tasty anyway? It's what you expect versus what you experience. So we can always change our expectations, sometimes to lower it. Instead of having such high expectations in our life that we're always disappointed, is to lower our expectations, especially of other people. And even ourselves sometimes, so that we're not too hard on ourselves. When you go to a place that it's not, you're not going to get really good food, do you expect very much? No. And then when the food comes, like, oh, this is very good, huh? Because the expectation was low. Yeah. But when we have very high expectations, we will often be disappointed, and it's very hard to be happy that way. So expect less from others, and show more appreciation of what they're able to do with the skills, with the knowledge that they have. Then if we find it easier as well to compliment others, rather than, yeah, not very good lah, everything not very good lah, everything's not bad lah. So don't use the word anymore, not bad. Be positive. It's good. What's not bad anyway? Not bad, not bad. So I think not good, not good. It's good. So what happens is that whenever we feel good, we actually become better. Do you remember when you're made not to feel good? Do you remember that experience, the incident? When people criticize you? Yes. You may not remember what it was said, but you felt really awful. And whenever you see that person again, you will associate that feeling with that person. So if you want people to like you, to look forward to seeing you again, then try to, as much as possible, to leave a feel-good feeling with that person. So the experience has to be more positive. Then they look forward to seeing you. And that means you get accepted into the inner circle. And that way, whatever you say, they're more willing to listen. But when the experience with you is negative, in fact, they feel quite uncomfortable with you, what's the chance of them wanting to listen to what you have to say? Less, right? Now, when someone asks you, so how was your flight back from Hong Kong, assuming you went there recently, or wherever you went, and you say, it was good. I felt good. It was a good flight. But do you actually remember what happened on the flight? Or what the stewardess did, or whatever it was? Do you actually remember the details? You don't. But you remember the feeling. Like when you've been on a holiday, somebody asks you, so, how was Sydney? Or how was Bali? I say, oh, it was awful. They said, what's awful? And you think, actually one or two things, but you felt awful. You had diarrhea maybe. And that spoiled your whole holiday. And all you remember is your diarrhea. Right? But if the food was pleasant, the people were nice to you. You didn't get cheated. You didn't get scolded. Last time you go Hong Kong, every time you get scolded. The old days, you go Hong Kong, you can't speak anything, you say, 你乜人啊？你同人啊？同人唔要講同話。They scold you. Then you come back, you feel awful, right? So why do I want to go Hong Kong again? Forget it, go there and get scolded. Even though it's only one incident, one miserable old woman scold you, and then you remember it. So that's how people remember us as well, is through their experience with us, their interaction with us. So when we scold someone, please don't expect the person really wants to see you again, or wants to have a conversation with you, because you left a very negative feeling. So to bring the best out of people is to make them feel good. Just as when you feel good, you are happy and you're willing to do anything. So people will fall in love. Feel good, right? That's why you're willing to do anything, right? Then when arguments start to happen, then you don't feel good anymore, right? Then even the things that you do for your partner reduces over time. So in a marriage, how often do you feel good? And how often do you feel bad? And more times you feel good, the more you will do for your partner. And same way I would say to the children. If you're always complaining about things to your parents, why would your parents want to do much for you? Everything is not good enough. Your brother say you want to go for this movie, you say you want to go the other movie. How do you think your parents feel? Tiring, right? He says this one want to eat Italian food, that one want to eat McDonald's. Just to be different. And then you make whoever's with you very confused. Very difficult. So, to bring the best out of people is to acknowledge some of their positives. Even can be something as superficial as how they look. Oh, you look nice today. You're wearing a very nice tie. Or, oh, you had a haircut. You look nice. Right? Get into the habit of complimenting people. But be sincere. Don't have a compliment every day. Otherwise they think that this is a psychological problem. Once in a while, like once a week, compliment something of the person. Look at the positive side of the person and compliment. I find that by complimenting my staff, whenever they do something well, they want to do even more. They don't even feel like staying late is a chore. In fact, often when they stay late, I will say to them, why don't you go home early? I say, you're really working so hard. And they'll say to me, no, it's okay, I want to stay late. So reverse psychology is incredibly powerful. Very often I say to them, don't work so hard. And they work double hard. Because they get a sense that you care about them. That, you don't want them to fall sick. Or that you just want to get every drop of their blood, out of them. Squeeze every bit out of them. When people feel that way, that you just want to squeeze every bit out of me, then they don't feel good, right? They feel that, you're so merciless. Well, I said, look after yourself. It's lunchtime. Go, take a good 1 hour lunch. After when my staff said, my mother's not well, I have to take the hospital. I said, go. I said, look after your mom first. I would never ask them, what about your work? Because when you care about them, they will automatically care about their work. Or if they're really so upset because something unexpected happened, then you can always go to the colleagues and say to them, Jane has to rush out to help the mum. Do you want to just check with her whether there's anything else, anything you need to help her with? And by doing that, when the colleagues call her up and says, hey Jane, I heard, you are having a problem with your mom's got a problem. Is there anything we can help you with? Don't you think that builds up teamwork as well? That people feel that, and she feels that, wow, my colleagues are so nice. They actually care about me. And the next day when she goes back to the office, she'll be much nicer to them. Even though she had been a real bitch before. Because someone caring for you makes you a better person. Makes you a nicer person. Often people become awful is because they feel that nobody cares about them anyway. So why bother? The whole world thinks I'm bad, so I might as well be worse. So, even like with secretaries, if one of them want to go on leave, I'll say to her, can you check with the other secretary whether she's okay about your going away? And why do I do that? It's to make her realize that it's just not me that's going to be the one saying, yes, you can go on leave or not. And that her going on leave has to depend on the other secretary that she covers for. And that way it creates an interdependence relationship. And they have to be nice to each other. Because for me to go on leave, my co-secretary has to support, right? That means when she goes on leave, I will also have a say, right? And that way I'll support you because you support me back. And that creates teamwork. So often, like when somebody else goes on leave, I said, well, have you checked with if they're working as a team? I said, have you checked with so-and-so whether he's going on leave or not? And then he'll come back and say, oh no, he's not going on leave. And they will realize that they all have to coordinate among themselves. And their lives, their existence in the office becomes interdependent. Same with if you have two maids at home. When you have two maids at home, it's a real headache sometimes. If you have two maids at home, it's to make them interdependent. That if she wants to go on a Sunday off, then you check. You said, is Santi going on day off as well? Oh, she's not going on day off. Okay, then you go day off. When she want to go day off, then you stay home. So that's how you create interdependence to promote teamwork. And that also creates a nicer environment amongst each other because they realize that they don't operate on their own. What I find is that insecure bosses love to divide and conquer. They will in fact create suspicions between staff, and they'll ask you about the other staff, and they'll ask that staff about you, and creates this environment of distrust. It's very hard to work in an environment like that. It's very hard to be happy and to feel confident in working in an environment like this. So if you have the ability to build teamwork, do it. Because why are some bosses fearful of building teams? Because they're afraid that the whole team might walk out. But if you're good to people, why would they want to leave you? Right? Just as if you're good to your partner, why would that partner want to leave you? They will only want to leave you when you're not good to them. So those of you who got girlfriend, boyfriend, right, remember, it's all about you being nice to your partner, nice to your friend. And sure, you will have those who will betray you. Then you learn. That's how you develop wisdom. How much to trust someone. And don't trust blindly. That person is just teaching you a lesson in life. That you should know who you can trust. And you should first check the person out. Test the person out. Observe. Then you increase your level of trust. Not just to trust blindly. Because if the person betrayed you, then you have misread the person. Or you've been too willing to just put everything in one basket. So in life, to be positive is to realize that every negative experience is teaching you something. And it's not to blame the situation or blame the other person. It's to look at oneself and say, where have I gone wrong? How do I need to smarten myself up? Make myself wiser. Choose your friends more carefully. So yesterday I met this guy. He looked really wholesome. Really, just a very trusting face. And he said, I know your friend. I said, okay. And how is he, And later I found out that he's a very two-faced person. You know what's two-faced, right? Say something to someone this way and say something to another person the opposite way. So in front of you say you're very nice, but behind you say you're very bad. So luckily I was just not being, open and just willing to divulge information. Because from his looks, he looks so kind, so trusting, so nice. So don't believe fortune tellers who say, I can read face. Yeah? Only time will tell. And of course, in bringing out the best of people, sometimes you've got to give them feedback on where they need to improve. So when you similarly went through your appraisal, or when people gave you feedback, when was it most effective? Or how is it done that it's most effective? When it's put across to you as a criticism? Or put across to you in a constructive way with a sense of person actually cares about you? I would say it's the latter, isn't it? So same way when we give feedback to others. Ajahn Brahm always recommends the sandwich approach. Say something really nice about the person, something good that he did, and then you can slip in the feedback, and then you sandwich it back again with something good. So that when you eat that bread, you take the meat with it. Or take the vegetable with it, in between if you don't like vegetable. And that's why when you go to Ajahn Brahm's talk, why does he always make you laugh? Because he disarms you with his laughter and his compassion and his love, He disarms you, right? Then it's like, he always says, when you laugh, ha ha ha, then he pops the medicine into your mouth. And it's so true. So simply when we give feedback, is to put it between two slices of really nice bread. And then when he eats everything with it. Tomato, mayonnaise, whatever. Even if you don't like, they'll eat it, right? So, in giving feedback, the hardest feedback is when something is very personal. And there was this staff, I had to work on him for months because he had terrible body odor. You had that before? Then he's like, you don't know what to say, right? And then but before you give feedback of that nature, you make sure you have no body odor. In fact, in any feedback we give, make sure we check on ourselves first. Is that something that we do? Because if it's something that we also do, then we have no credibility in telling someone else to improve in the area. So we've got to first correct ourselves. Then we can feedback with credibility. So we call it leading by example. So you want to know how I had to help this person with body odor? Yes or no? So you can use it as well, right? Fortunately, he's my staff. So as a boss, staff always have to listen now, whether they like it or not, right? You have a bit more air time and willing time. So I said, Johnny, not his real name. So I said, Johnny, do you sweat a lot? He said, yeah, I sweat a lot. I said, I can see. You take bath too? He said, yeah. I said, maybe because you sweat a lot. Sometimes got smell, eh? I said, got smell? Of course they cannot smell, right? They can never smell their own odor. I said, yeah, got smell. I said, you use deodorant or not? No. I said, deodorant is very good. I use deodorant every day. So if you're the type to that smell, then you use deodorant. Oh, okay. Okay, I go buy. I said, you know which type to buy, no? Yeah, I know. So, okay. So, so the next few days, smell a bit better. But still got smell. Then, some days better than other days, Then one day, got into my car. Wow, almost fainted. So, of course, I didn't say there and then. When you are agitated or flustered or whatever, it's not a good time to give feedback. You must give it when your mind is very clear, calm, and happy. Then you can give good feedback. So, one day, he walked into my room. Whiff! Oh, I could smell. So he sat down. I said, Johnny, I noticed you've been sweating a lot again. He said, really? I said, yeah. You ain't got smell? I said, yeah, I got smell. But you see, he can be very open with me because he knows that I didn't go and talk about his smell everywhere. You know what? Why do people don't trust you? Or feel betrayed or feel like you're embarrassing them? It's because you tell them, then you go and tell everybody, right? Of course they feel like, wow, you're making fun of me. Then they will also lose respect in you. So all this time is a confidential smell counseling. So he said, yeah, I use deodorant now. Then I thought, okay, this is really down to science, Where do you put your deodorant? He said, I put here, I put there. He put everywhere except there. I said, Johnny, you have to put under your armpit. Not put here, put there. Alamak, no wonder it didn't work. So, sometimes when you give counseling, you'll be surprised that you think you've given counseling, but you're not precise enough. So you have to clarify whether your feedback was sufficiently prescriptive. In this case, I found out, I kind of figured out that you could have been put in the right place. I said you must put under your armpit. So he said, okay. So he went off. Then it improved. Then another time, few weeks, again. Wow. I was like, still not good enough. My counseling not working properly. And I'm not so concerned about myself because I'm in a room. He only comes occasionally. There are people outside who has to sit with him. So I actually feel, in the interest of other people, I must do it one more time. So a few weeks later, again, he come my car, almost fainted. So I sat him down again. Not for this special, I didn't say, Johnny, you come my room. But, we were talking about work, and I said, luckily this time he asked me, so how? Better or not? So lucky he asked me. So I said, better but still got smell sometimes. He said, really? I said, can you tell me how you put your deodorant? He gave me step by step. He told me, I said, he said, I go shower. Then I wait half an hour later. I thought, Lama, wait half an hour later. Already got sweat, right? Okay, that one number one. Keep my mind. Then he says, then I put it around my armpit now. Around? He said, yeah, because got hair. How fun my life is at work. I said, no. I said, what kind of deodorant? Dry, spray, or roll on? So I can teach properly. He said, I got all types. I said, okay, you must do it right after shower. He said, but right after shower is damp. Alamak. Okay, I said, then you take dry towel and you dry it properly. You must put immediately. I said, because half an hour you would have sweated, bacteria would have built up. See, this is not like science lesson, right? Bacteria would have built up, the smell would have got there. So I said, right after shower, dry it, then you roll over the hair, so you roll. If you spray extra over the hair also. Victory. Now no more smell. Then he told me, he said, my wife said to me, I told you so many times already, you never do properly. Your boss tells you, then you do. I said, Johnny, you give your wife my number. Because anything she wants you to do, she can't make you do. Call me. So this goes to show that when you build confidence with your staff, that you can counsel them on anything. I even had one coming to me for counsel because he got accused from having molested a girl. And of course, I'm not telling you the name. But the reality is, he went on holiday, and she actually asked him to go on holiday. So they signed up for a tour package and they went on holiday. Then they shared a room. Then he came back, all panicked, all white, came and see me a few days later. He says, the girl's now accusing me of molesting her. I said, where were you all sleeping? Same room. How many nights? 7 nights. Same room. I thought, well, you must be you must be a saint if you don't try to touch her. So she molested him. Went to file a police report. Do you think it's scary? So men out there, you be careful, okay? File a police report. So I said, where did it take place? They said, oh, in Taipei. I said, okay. From my legal knowledge, an act committed outside of the country is not chargeable in Singapore. It's like you have to be charged in the country that you commit the act. So that was luckily one good thing. And it's really hard for a woman to claim a case of molest when you're willing to sleep in the same room on a double bed some more with a guy, right? So anyway, I helped him to got a lawyer to look into the case for him, to tell him what his rights are and what he has to prepare for and so on. But in the meantime, this girl was blogging it and using his real name. So I advised him and I said, well, get a lawyer or you write a letter or email to this girl and said, if you don't remove it from the blog, then I will sue you for defamation. So as it turned out, when I probed further, he had lent the girl $20,000. So this girl was actually after his money. And now to get out of paying, perfect setup. Go on holiday with him, share the same room, share the same bed, roll over onto him, then he touched her, then she accused him of molesting. And she was hoping then that he would say, okay, keep the money, call it equals. So many lessons we learn in this. So be very careful if your girlfriend or boyfriend starts borrowing money from you. And secondly, if you're a guy, you better make sure that this girl is sincere. Huh? If there's anything, you want to do here first before you go overseas. If you can't even kiss her here, don't think you're going to go overseas and kiss her and then you might be accused or something. I mean, who knows? Just be really, really careful. You can't be too careful in these sort of things. So anyway, the point here is that I was glad that he trusted me enough to come and talk to me about it, because it's a very embarrassing and very humiliating experience to go through. But he came out of it fine, and so I was really pleased for him. So whoever you're dealing with, make sure you develop trust, because it's very important that people feel that they can come to you and that they're not judged. Then even if they make a mistake, it's okay to assure them it's okay to make a mistake. Yeah, of course this guy touched her, but it's like, I'm not going to look down at him. Circumstances, situation, and who am I to judge him anyway? More importantly is, how can you help the person when he or she is in trouble or has made a mistake? It's just like if your kid comes back and he's broken his arm. Is there any point in scolding him because he's really fallen over? Yeah, he was stupid. He jumped over something and fell over and broke his arm when he should have just walked around it. He just said, okay, let's get your arm fixed. And if you can give him the assurance that you're not, give him that sense of confidence that if he can come to you in trouble, when he's in bigger trouble, he can come to you again. Because the last thing you want is when your child or someone you love doesn't feel the sense of confidence to come to you when he or she is in trouble. Because it could be worse when they go somewhere else for counsel. Just asking another friend who may not even have the experience of life and wisdom that you have. So whenever someone comes to you for help, is to focus on what you can do to help the person, instead of giving him or her a lecture. Why are you so stupid? Oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. You see, you never listen to me. he's really down. It's like a dog that's injured. Why you want to kick the dog? Maybe when the dog has recovered, then you sit the dog down, you pat on the head and say, you little dog, see, I told you not to jump. Then you jump, now you broke your leg, right? Lucky now you're okay. So next time don't jump again, okay? So same thing with your friends or your colleagues or your children. When they come to you with a mistake, just fix it first. Later on, when the moment is right, then you can teach a bit of wisdom. Because if you scold them, they just won't come to you again. Why do children lie? Or why do even adults lie? They lie because they feel they have to, in order not to get into trouble. A lot of times children lie because they know they'll be punished if they don't. At least they lie, they got 50% chance of getting away. That you didn't find out it's a lie. And if they found out there's a lie, it's still the same punishment anyway, right? Because if they confess what they did, they get punished. At least if they told a lie, they got 50% chance of not getting punished. Hey, they're very smart, huh? This is what you call weighing the odds. So same thing in your office, in your relationships. If someone's made a mistake and they can come and confess to you and you make them feel safe, they'll be more than willing to always tell you the truth because you forgive them, because you understand their weakness, that they have weaknesses just like us. Haven't we done things that are wrong? Haven't we made mistakes? And we feel safe to go to someone who knows they can accept us for who we are and confess it. So why do so many people want to go Ajahn Brahm to talk to him? Because they feel safe. That they know that this monk is not going to walk in the office and tell on them. They know that this monk is not going to go into the family and tell on them. And this monk is not going to judge them. Because this monk knows that all of us have weaknesses and faults. That's why you always have a queue of people going to Ajahn Brahm. Because they just want to be able to get it off their chest. The guilt that's been in them for something they've done they're not proud of. So why can't we be that friend to others? To be the one that people can come up to us and tell us their darkest secrets. And we're not going to tell on them. That they feel safe with us. That even if one day we're no longer friends, they know that we'll still not betray them. So I would come to the last part of my talk, which is about believing in yourself. Because to help bring the best out of people, you've got to believe in other people's goodness. That other people are capable of being good. And it has to start with you believing in yourself that you are capable of being good. So you've got to start looking at your own strengths, all the wonderful things you've done in your life. And all of you have, each one of you. Stop focusing on the faults. Just do something about it. Instead of saying, oh, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. Either you accept it because you really can't do anything about it, or make good of it. Change. And when you go on that journey, a path of change, you will know the effort that's required to change. And it's not easy, right? But it's possible. So just as other people who has weakness or fault, it is not easy for them to change. And that way you also develop a sense of compassion and empathy, because you know how hard it is for you to overcome your own weaknesses and faults. And that way you'll be less judgmental on others, because you also realize the path for them is not easy. That they need not just willpower to change, the conviction to change, but the encouragement to change. When you have spiritual friends, people who rally around you, who really care about you, who encourage you, these spiritual friends make your path of change easier. That's why the Buddha said our spiritual life is 100% about spiritual friendship. Because if we are mixing with people who are always negative, discouraging, criticizing, then what is your chance of becoming better? Because this is so degrading. But when you're with positive people, they will help propel your change. Just as we become the positive catalyst for other people to change for the better. But you got to believe in yourself first and foremost. Because when you believe in yourself, you can make positive changes in your life. You have a lot of confidence then in the people that you deal with, that they too can change for the better. So like this two-faced guy that I met yesterday, that I was told, I don't look at him with a sense of, he's a goner. But rather I look at him and I feel, I wonder, what kind of upbringing did he have? What kind of friends does he have that has molded him or helped or made him the way he is? Because if he's got great examples in life, he would never become a two-faced person. But when we're always mixing with two-faced people, we will tend to become two-faced. Right? Because that's how the world around him operates. We all live in the same physical world. But our world that we live in is different for everyone. And we have to choose that world. Who we want as friends, as the people that we surround ourselves with, that will help us move in the right path towards the right destination and goals. So all begins with the I, in this case, to know how to bring the best out of yourself as well. That when you focus on your positives, you will have lots of things to be happy about. And when you're happy about yourself, then you will always wear a smile. Or more often than not, you'll wear a smile. And the smile doesn't just come from the face, the smile comes from the heart. And when you can smile at someone from the heart, you actually open up the world of the other person. So that's why Ajahn Brahm says, in the morning when you look at yourself in the mirror, do you smile or do you grouch? The first person you should make to make them happy is yourself. So when you stand in front of the mirror in the morning, as Ajahn said, if you have a hard time smiling, at least put 2 fingers to your face. And when you can smile at yourself in the morning, you can smile at the world when you walk out. And that's when you bring the best out of yourself, and you can bring the best out of people. Not everyone, it doesn't matter. The ones that you can, just do it. Okay? So that's all for my talk today. Thank you.